table mates. "Must be," Wilcox's friend said. He lowered his voice. "What do you think of Hawthorne getting an award?" Gene Hawthorne, a Trib Metro reporter, had been cited for a 3-part series he had done on a local bank's illegal payoffs to a district official. Wilcox shrugged, which accurately reflected what he was thinking. Hawthorne, in his late 20s, did not rank high on Wilcox's list of favorite people. He wasn't alone in his negative view of the abrasive, aggressive young reporter who had a penchant for rubbing colleagues the wrong way, his knife always in search of an unprotected back, it seemed, and there were few toes fast enough to avoid being stepped on. Equally galling was the backing he received from the Trib's ranking editors and management, who obviously viewed the young, smug, sandy-haired, self-possessed reporter as a rising star, which, of course, he was. A bit of news that wasn't lost on anyone at the Trib, Joe included. He saw in the young reporter something of himself years ago when he had come to the Washington Tribune, brimming with ambition and possessing the energy to fuel it. But it had been different at the paper 23 years ago. Then there was still plenty of grizzled veteran reporters from whom to learn. Men, almost exclusively, who lived the life of a reporter as portrayed in movies and plays, characters straight out of the front page, their heads surrounded by blue cigarette and cigar smoke, pints of whiskey in their desk drawers, the rattle and clank of their typewriters testifying to their daily output, spoken words tough and profane, written words sharp and to the point. There weren't many of them left. The younger Trib reporters, including Wilcox, had been hired to supplement that veteran staff. But eventually, Gene Hawthorne and dozens of men and women like him had been brought in to replace the over-50 crowd. There had been a flurry of buyouts offered over the past few years, and many newsroom veterans had jumped at the severance package with its generous cash settlement, pension options, and health and life insurance. In came the new blood, working at half the pay of the reporters who had gone on to their retirement, or in many cases, new jobs. One of the Trib's top economics reporters had left on a Friday. His byline appeared over an article in the Trib the following Monday, written for a wire service that had eagerly hired him. It just wasn't the same anymore for Joe Wilcox. He was now a member of the Dinosaur Club himself, and was viewed with a certain, barely disguised, scorn by Hawthorne and his cadre of young hotshots. Joe was 2 years from 55, the buyout age, with the lapel pin certifying that he had given the Washington Tribune the best 25 years of his life. Roberta and Georgia approached, and Roberta gave him a hug. She was taller than her father. "Thanks for the plug," he said. "I meant it." "You look great, honey." "Congratulations, that was a hell of a piece you did." "I wonder if anyone at MPD will ever congratulate me." "Yeah, I'm sure the police are preparing a proclamation as we speak, naming you Honorary Cop of the Year." "I know it was awkward for you," Roberta said, her expression as serious as her words. "They'll get over it. I still have friends over there who agreed with you. They all suffer when a few foul balls taint the entire force. But if they knew you had fed me some of the information I used, which they won't, don't give it another thought, sweetie." "Anything new on Kaporis?" His response was a shake of his head and a tiny smile for a thought that came and went. This daughter journalist had not asked the question out of natural curiosity. Like her father, Roberta Wilcox had been reporting on the killing of Jean Kaporis, a young woman who had joined the Trib less than a year ago, fresh out of the University of Missouri's School of Journalism. Kaporis had been assigned to the paper's panache section, helping cover the city's vibrant social scene, the weddings of those whose names were well known enough to justify coverage, fundraisers. A day didn't pass in Washington when someone wasn't raising funds for something deemed worthy of their time and effort, important or whimsical, and, ideally, a scandal among the rich and famous and thin, a political faux pas, a fatuous misstep that would leave readers tittering. It wasn't the sort of assignment she preferred, but knew it represented a starting point for many newly hired females.